This is Future Headline News, where tomorrow's headlines become today's news.
Disturbing reality on this Veterans Day of just how our nation treats its military heroes. There are currently more than 900,000 homeless vets in America, and many of them have nowhere else to go than the hundreds of Occupy encampments that have sprung up around the nation. And even that, as we found out yesterday, tragically, isn't enough to save them. David in San Diego. Hey, David, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
I think that the occupiers from Wall Street are wrong. I think they're excluding an entire group or section of the economy out of the equation.
That being?
The government. Think about this.
How about the military-industrial complex?
Well, how about this? The government has $3.8 trillion in financial assets. It's got $12 trillion in oil reserves, and it's got another $12 trillion in gas reserves, not including the $1.3 trillion it has just in buildings. And I'm asking myself, why with someone who has $30 trillion worth of assets is asking me for money, and I'm just trying to scratch my head. I mean,
okay,
that's more wealthy.
Let me do math 101 for you, David. First of all, those oil and gas assets, that's stuff that's under the ground in federal lands. They will lease those things out to private for-profit companies who will pay a fee on that money, on that oil and gas that's pulled out.
That's correct.
So that's not a liquid asset. That's not something that you can convert tomorrow morning. And they are converting that as fast as they can, by the way, to the extent that they're selling those leases. And that's what Obama just went back to doing with down in the Gulf. So, Republican talking point number one, down. Number two, the federal buildings. You want those buildings administered by Marriott for a profit so that the CEO can take a larger paycheck? Wouldn't you rather have your federal buildings? Wouldn't you rather have the infrastructure of the United States, the Washington Monument, the Jefferson Monument? Wouldn't you rather have it administered by an agency that doesn't make a profit?
Well, I would rather have more money in my pocket, and I would rather have a job. That's what I'd rather have.
You do not want a for-profit corporation administering.
No. I don't want the government. No. I don't want the government. Listen.
And then in addition to charge,
that's only one point.
Whatever they're paying their workers, skimming money off the top to pay their CEOs and skimming money off the top to pass out to their stockholders. So,
I am
Republican
concerned.
Talking point 2 goes down in flames.
Hardly. Look, I am concerned with the government sitting on $3.8 trillion worth of assets and financial assets. I'd like to add. In other words, the government is sitting on a bunch of financial assets.
You're talking about the Social Security Trust Fund is $2.5 trillion. Where's the other trillion?
Oh, I don't know. I got these numbers from the government.
Well, no, you got these numbers from some right winger. I guarantee you're probably some viral email that's going around on the Fox blogosphere. The Social Security Administration is sitting on $2.7 trillion, and that is parked in treasuries, and that is to pay off obligations incurred by people who paid money into that during their working lives. And it's
No. I'm not including that. I'm talking about municipalities. I'm talking about state and local governments. I'm talking about the government as a total. Have $3.8 trillion, not including the other $25 trillion in, like I said, oil and gas reserves. And you're sitting there trying to say they're developing it? That's bull. We could be developing Alaska's resources, and to boot, who says we need to develop it? All we got to do is borrow against it. That's what the government does best, is it not? Borrow against the oil resources under the ground, right? Just take out a loan. And then when you develop it, you pay off the loan. We're talking about trillions of dollars here, and I don't know why I have to pay.